guys, welcome back to Travel with the Dawsons.
Hey.
Yep, guess who is back this week? Someone is back from there.
Your girl's back.
From quarantine.
Why would you say that?
No, she didn't have COVID, guys.
I'm not 100%, but I'm...
You're looking 150%.
Oh, thank you, boo.
No, 200%.
Oh.
300%. It's good to have you back with me this week.
You.
It felt so awkward last week.
You done well. You done well.
Did I represent?
You did.
Great.
For the Dawsons.
That's right.
And thank you for everyone who sent in their well wishes as well. Yeah, I wasn't well. I was in bed. But yeah, I'm here now.
Great, good to have you back. So welcome to all our new subscribers this week, and also thank you to all the persons who are returning to listen to our channel and just to be a part of the Travel with the Dawsons family.
Yeah.
Today we have another discussion, and we're just gonna get straight into it today.
So what are we talking about this week?
All right, so this week we are talking about cultural differences in upbringing. So
well, for us anyway.
For us, basically, we're talking from our perspective. We can only refer to our experience. So yeah.
So I didn't want to call this British versus Jamaica because I'm Jamaican.
You're Jamaican, but you have a lot of the British experience. So
sure,
we want to talk a bit about that in comparison to my upbringing in Jamaica, really yard style, grassroots kind of upbringing. We're not so privileged like some people just have the fancy dancing and all those things.
It wasn't like that, but anyway.
Yeah.
So some just cultural differences. So we're going to list or talk about 10 differences that we thought of. We're probably missing some, but you can drop it in the
10 that we can relate to.
Comment section if we've forgotten any. But yeah, so kicking it off with number one. Number one, we're talking about, well, for us, our personality.
Personality difference, yeah.
Yeah, so these are not just cultural. This is just upbringing and just how we are. So you can learn a bit more about us.
Yeah.
So yeah, number one, personality. So our personalities are very extremely different.
Like from North Pole to South Pole.
That's not far.
Is that far? I don't know. It should be far. I'm from east to west.
That's better.
All right.
Or from north to south.
Okay.
So one end of the spectrum to the other.
Yes.
So as you probably realise, you probably see him a lot all over. He's loud, guys. He's very loud.
No, that's not true.
He's
very
so
quiet.
loud.
I'm so quiet.
Please. He's really loud. Quiet. Like, he's a very loud person. And me, I'm just quiet.
I'm just a worshipper.
It's got nothing to do with worship.
Okay.
You're just you talk loud, you're
That's
very
true.
loud. You're
So,
very bold. You're very out there. Whereas me, I'm just...
You're more of the reserved type. You can be very talkative. In fact, you talk more in kind of social setting than I do.
That's why it's really strange, guys.
Yeah.
It's really strange because he's a very loud, outspoken person with big crowds, and I'm the kind of person that will just be in the corner backstage. However, I would say I'm more of an extrovert than you are. It's really strange in the sense
it's very strange because let's kind of break it down. In terms of
introvert, you're a loud introvert. I don't know if that makes sense.
That don't make sense. I like my space. I like my own time.
His own space.
Yes.
And like you would prefer to be in the house than be outside.
Sometimes.
Most of the time.
Sometimes.
Like 99.9%.
Sometimes. I like my space. Like if most time, maybe the extrovert part of me comes out in ministry or in church, because I do a lot of that. Or if I have any kind of professional kind of setting that I need to be in, I would definitely be.
Whereas
outspoken.
I would run from that.
She'd run from those things.
Yeah.
So yeah, in that situation we're different. But if you come down to like group and like meeting up with friends and a lot of those things, I might just kind of just reserve.
He's
but
like,
she's basically.
And I'm like, yay! Let's do this. Let's have a party. Let's have a house party. Let's do this.
Let's invite people over. I'm like, I'd rather just stay.
So I like all of that kind of stuff. So in that kind of setting, I'm out there. But yeah, the whole public speaking, crowd thing.
I think you're getting better. somewhat.
Well, I kind of have to. I don't have to.
See, yeah, the fact that you're here, she's
Yeah,
here,
so
guys.
even
She's here. She's doing this. So this shows that you've made a lot of improvement. And I think another thing to note though is that over time, when you're in a relationship, you kind of rub off on each other.
Yeah, that's
because a lot of you know is been rubbing off on me, and a lot of me rubbing off on you after 5 years of marriage. So yeah, that's just one thing. All right, number two, language.
Oh my gosh, this is a big one.
Language. This is the biggest one when I came here, because for me,
even now,
I'm still.
It's still a big one.
Still a big one. Like just words that we use.
But the thing is, even though I'm Jamaican. I know what he's talking about, but it's just that, you know, the British way that if you're out or if you're at work or if you're somewhere, like if you were to use this word, somebody else might not understand. So it's always like I'm always not correcting you, but
You're always correcting me.
Highlighting that, you know, babe, that's not the word that we use here.
You wish you said it that nice. You're like, I don't say go.
For example, like, let's start with easy ones, like pine.
Like pine. I said pine in Jamaica, and she's like, babe, it's pineapple. I think I've gotten that one now.
You've got it now.
I was talking to my sister the other day, and I was talking to my niece, and I was like, can I have some of your pineapple?
And then everyone started laughing.
Pineapple, a pine! So my sister said I need to come home because you're getting too... I'm not... Okay, so let's move on.
So, like, another one would be like you would say to Eliana, put on your panty, and I'm like, no.
Put on your knickers.
It's knickers.
Come on, we say knickers.
But it's not panty.
It's panty.
Anyway, what about pants?
Pants, trousers.
You always say, you even still say that now. You've never said trousers.
I say trousers.
You've never said it.
I said pants most times.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
And what about, like, I would say... like your backpack.
Backpack. I say knapsack. Put on your knapsack. Put on your knapsack.
That was so funny. Like, I understand what he's saying, but I just find it funny. And or like your wallet. I'll be like, oh baby, you left your wallet.
I say belly fold.
Why though? Why?
Come on, these are popular things we say.
I know, but my dad still says that.
Yeah.
What about
what?
What about waistcoat?
Waistcoat. Vest. Vest.
You still say that? Why?
Yeah, but there's nothing. They can use them interchangeably.
But a vest for us, like all my British people, you know, like a vest is like an undershirt is a vest. Whereas you are talking about a proper formal waistcoat is a vest. So that's like complete. So if you would say, babe, bring me a vest. Or bring my vest.
She just couldn't get that.
Yeah, like, but I understand it, but I just find it funny. So I'm like, babe, that's not right. Anyway, there's many more.
Especially another thing about language is when I just met you, I didn't understand most of the words you use sometimes anyway.
But you covered that well, because I never knew that.
Eliana's crying.
Give us a minute. Woo. She's alright, guys.
Alright, guys. So the next one is mannerisms. Now, this is a sore point. Very, very sore point.
Why do you say it like that?
It is. Because, you know, so growing up in Jamaica, one thing I know is that you are supposed to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you see an adult or miss this, Mr. that, Mr. this. When I came here, nobody say miss. Nobody say Mr. Nobody say good morning. Nobody said... the only thing people say to you anything about if they're gonna engage you is about the weather.
Oh, the weather's nice today.
Oh, it's a beautiful weather. It's a beautiful day. You go into a room, you say good morning, nobody answers, and that annoyed me.
That's like a London thing. I think up
north
is different.
Another thing too about mannerism. You see someone and you call to them, they don't answer, they do like this. They're like, you're passing them, they're like, and you say hello, they're like. I hated that. So that's something I had to become quite accustomed to. But in terms of our relationship, when it comes to mannerism and how that affected us,
I'm very polite and I'm very manner. What's the word?
Well, her expectation, mannerisms. Mannerisable.
I'm so back up.
So in our relationship, for her. She's not the typical person to say good morning or good afternoon or those things that I'm accustomed to. Not so much like
Yeah, I
how do.
do.
You say it, but you're more caught up into things like yes please or
Yeah, that's true.
or
Like if
thank
you don't say yes, please. If you don't say please and you don't say thank you, you're
those
just
things
rude.
I was not
You're
accustomed to.
rude.
When I came here, I would say please, but in terms of
You
the
never
culture,
said please.
I always say please.
You
Always,
do no,
always,
no.
always. And even like
No, you'll say, babe, pass me that, and I'll be sitting there like,
no. But I would normally say I would not
for the
normally
win.
say yes please. But that's not something. She's more caught up in things like please and thank you. Those typical British things that people say when
British things. That's manners.
it's manners, but it's
You don't see it's important.
it's more of a culture where I recognize more of a culture where people will say please thank you or they would say please. Yeah, but it's not they
No.
don't it doesn't extend beyond that really.
Yeah, but it's just manners.
Like-
But anyway, we're not going to dwell on this. Guys, say your please and say your thank you, especially if you're in the UK.
Yeah, I do.
It goes a long way. Like you
I do
say,
it all the time.
Like
It's a part of me now.
like you would say, like you've got manners, but manners is like Jamaican. When they use the word manners, they don't use. That's not what they mean. Manners means like you're a respectable person. Like the boy is
Respectful.
well mannerisable. What's the word?
Mannerable.
No, that's not what they say. Mannerisable.
Mannerable.
Yeah,
Mannerable.
yeah,
Mannerable.
yeah. Like he's well respected and whatever. But like when we first met, I remember like I would go to Jamaica and I would call everyone auntie, uncle. Like that would be my mister. Like I would be like, oh, thanks, auntie. Like even if they're
I was
nobody
like,
to
that's
me.
weird. When you're calling people with like
And he
your
was like,
auntie,
but you don't
auntie.
know them. Why are you calling them
That
auntie?
sounds like some African culture.
Yeah, but that's not. I wouldn't say that's a British thing. I think like my uni days, all my friends were like of African descent, and like in that culture, you would never just call them like Jane.
Yeah, but we don't say that in Jamaica. We say Miss Black, Miss
Yeah,
Brown,
but I wouldn't call
Miss
them
Cucumber, Miss Potato, Miss Pineapple.
Cucumber. That's
Cucumber.
another language. It's cucumber.
Cucumber. Cucumber. Yeah.
Cucumber.
Cucumber.
Cucum.
When I say that.
But anyway, when
Yeah,
we say
yeah.
Miss or Mister, that's like you're in school. So like,
But in school, not even in school, they don't do it anymore here.
what?
In school, you call teachers by first name.
No, I don't know where you get that
Yes.
from. No.
Yes.
It depends on your age. Depends
Oh,
on your
okay,
age.
okay.
Depends on your age. Like you would call them, unless things have changed since I've been to school, but once you get to like year 11, year 10, 11, like when you're going into like college and stuff, you would call them by their first name. So that was like preparing you for college.
Okay.
So you're like Mr. Dawson, you would say that all the way up, and then lastly you'll be like Ontonio. Like they would have that relationship.
At university, we call our lecturer by their first name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in Jamaica you wouldn't? You still call them Mr.
My lecturer recently told me after 5 years to call him by his first name.
Yeah, but
I always call him.
But you're
Mr.
not in
this.
uni.
Yeah, but it's just a thing of respect.
So next one, 4, is like school. Just the way that we've grown up, school, valuing school. I think the Jamaicans value education a lot more than the Brits
If
do.
you grew up in Jamaica.
Yeah. Yeah, I think going to Jamaica, I see how children and parents and
Pride,
families.
this kind of pride
School.
and
There's pride. There's like
value.
I went to this school and
I need to go to this school. I think a big thing to do with that is the fact that in Jamaica, from grade you're required to do a test to get into school. So
some schools you do tests here.
but here mostly you automatically go into a school.
Yeah.
In Jamaica, you have to sit GSAT, so that's very competitive. You have to think
you do
about
GCSEs.
to go into secondary school.
No, you do SATs.
You do SATs.
Yeah, you do SATs, and that kind of grades you what level. So it's the same. We still have the same system, but I mean, like, children will go home and they're doing that. Like, I think it's different. It's different. Like even the uniform, down to the uniform, there's so much pride. Like when you go to a certain school, there's so much pride of like, I went to Calabar or I went to Homewood or I went to, like, I don't find
like for
that
me
here.
when we met, I was at I was very passionate about school and talk about school. But for you, it's like, school.
Like, for me, I don't know. Maybe that's just because I grew up in Cambridge, so maybe it was just like a Cambridge thing. I don't know. Maybe it's different other places. But school was just school. Like, you just go to school.
But another thing is that growing up in Jamaica, you are in an environment where everybody looks like you. The environment is so much like you, as opposed to growing up in Cambridge, that is predominantly a white area.
I don't think it had
I don't
anything
know. I
to
don't
do
know.
with race. I think we just, as a culture, we didn't value education as much as Jamaicans do. Like, it's really ingrained in you. It's stilled in you. Like, here it's like school.
Okay.
I think. Number 5.
Number 5, cultural expression. Jamaicans, especially growing up in Jamaica, we are very expressive. We're just out there. Our personality is just big and just take over the room. When we step into an environment in Jamaica. When I came here, I realized that people are more reserved. People don't really put themselves forward. They go into a room and they're asking for a question. Ask a question, nobody will volunteer. And I feel like most time I'm forced to, because I'm so naturally that kind of person to like to want to do things or get involved. So that's one thing. Another thing too, when it comes to like worship in Jamaica, growing up, the expression, we're going to church and the vibrancy and the holy roller style and
maybe that's just you.
No, but here when I came here, people don't really.
You just say,
people just like,
praise the Lord,
praise the Lord, oh my soul.
Antonio's like, hey.
But it's not me alone. It's not me alone. It's just like most people.
Even the slow song, you're like, woo.
No, not that. Most people I know, most churches I go to in Jamaica, worship is not that kind of just like.
Not everywhere is like that here. You have radical. Even the radical worship is not as radical as back home. I mean, Jamaica.
The closest I see to our expression is like really African churches. They go deep, they go hard, they worship, they go crazy. So yeah, we that's something that I saw that was different.
Yeah.
But when I came here.
Yeah, we're a lot more reserved, and that leads us on to like dressing and dress code as well.
Yeah.
Like the dress code as well. Like Brits tend to dress like how we feel in terms of dress,
how they feel. So in winter,
how the weather, so like in the winter, but then
but
wait, in our defense, in the shops, the clothes that are available to you, listen, the clothes that are available to you from, what are we in now, September? From like September all the way to like February, March, is like dark colors.
Yeah, but then people make that a choice though to wear dark colors, because that's the mood. Listen guys, people here are very much programmed by their feelings and the atmosphere and the season. So when I just came, like when the winter came, then everybody was in black. Everybody was in black, and you want to me in my pink shirt out. You want to me in my bright colors, because I don't believe in just being programmed by the weather.
No, but that's true, because I like to wear bright colors as well, and like being in a corporate setting. So if I would go to work like in winter, October, November, December, January, and I'm wearing something that's brighter than the black or the blue or the brown or that kind of grey colour, they'll be like, "Oh, you're looking very bright today. Like you stand out.
Like you look like you're the one that is out of place, even though you're wearing something that expresses how you feel. Yeah, you're feeling quite happy.
You're very bright today.
You're looking good."
And I'm like, okay. But yeah, that's.
And the part about that too, dress code, is when I came here, guys, I was so prim and proper coming from Jamaica. I had to iron everything. I had to ensure that all my clothes had no crush, nothing. After a while, my wife was starting to say like, "Why are you doing that? Why are you damaging your clothes? Why are you ironing so much?" They don't like to iron.
No. It's not like that. It's like you ruin your clothes. Like he's like it will be something that doesn't need ironing, and he'll be ironing. I think it's just a program thing, don't you think?
I think no, I get it. Initially, I didn't get it.
Like, be honest. Do you get it now?
I get it now. That, I mean, growing up in Jamaica, we iron every Sunday. We iron every suit. We iron everything.
You iron anything.
And then for me, most of my clothes will get a bit shine at times, maybe because I
over
iron it. But that's something that she brought to my attention. But
like, it's not that I don't iron or British people don't iron. Don't even get that concept. But I think that it was like a state of over ironing. Like you would iron a clothes, put it to hang up, and before you put it on, you would iron it again. Is that not the truth?
Yeah,
exactly.
Definitely.
So it'll be an iron. I remember when you came here, there was a black trousers that you had, like a work. I can't remember if it work or church one. He ironed it till it was like plastic.
No, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad.
Because it was so shine. So I think it like the ironing thing. But anyway, in terms of dress code as well, like Jamaicans are very put together. And in the UK, well, I would say, well, it depends. When you're in black communities, it's a bit different because black communities represent kind of where, like Jamaica or whatever. But here, no one really cares. Like,
nobody care about how you look. Nobody really sees. You could be wearing the latest thing. Nobody care about
like,
your
it's
dress
cool,
code.
it's nice, woo. But
even if it's cool, people don't really pay attention to the deportment. As in Jamaica, it's such a big issue.
Unless you're in really black areas. In black areas, it's just like how it is.
When I go to work, nobody see how you. Nobody cared. People just want to know that you show up.
Yeah. Number 7. We got that right. Number 7, I would say stereotype. Let me get the word out.
Yeah.
What stereotypes did you have? Like,
say
you met a British woman, and then it came to the point where we were like, okay, where should we live? Jamaica, England. We decided on England. What was your stereotype? Were you like, oh my gosh, yay, I'm going to England? Or were you like, oh my gosh?
To be honest, I wasn't really I wasn't so like, oh yeah, I'm going to England, like,
But what stereotypes
I think for me is that some of the thing about England, like people just don't dress properly. English people mad.
Mad?
Like there was a lot of mad people in England.
Wow.
You've never heard that one? That's what I think I heard growing up. And that they smoke a lot. And they drink a lot of tea. That's all they do.
Yeah.
Those are some of the things I had in mind. So like, and I envision it as a very boring place. I didn't envision.
What about the weather?
Yeah, I heard that it's extremely cold. But when I came, it wasn't as cold as I said.
Yeah, we're coming.
It wasn't as cold as they said. So I realized that most of the stereotype I had coming here weren't true.
They were true, but not at the extent.
Not as the extent. They were true, yeah, but they weren't as bad as I thought they would have been.
So were you nervous, like, coming?
I
know we've gone a bit off topic.
We're gonna talk about that in another video.
That might be another video. But anyway, sorry guys. Stereotypes is a big one because I remember my dad saying about when he growing up, he always thought England people are like really fast.
Yes, like, that's another one that in England they say the Queen turn you up and turn you down. Like the Queen, just everything is just moving fast.
In Jamaica, everything is.
But that's true. That's actually true.
No problem, man. Everyone just.
In Jamaica is just quite laid back, chill.
But to be honest, like now you notice it, right?
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
Like living in London and like traveling to work and the train is at 7:37.
I have to run every morning.
Like 7:37, that's the train, and if you miss it, you're gonna be late or whatever.
In Jamaica, you just wait on the next taxi.
Yeah.
Or you just jump in a car.
And if you go to work
people take the train here.
It's just whatever.
Yeah.
But like everyone rushing around. Like that was the stereotype.
Guys, I've run so much times. I mean, I've had to run like almost every morning. Yeah.
But a stereotype for me on the other end of Jamaicans, even though I am Jamaican and I've been to Jamaica like over 15 times in my life or more, the stereotype, especially meeting a Jamaican man and then marrying a Jamaican man, in the first part of our relationship, there was that kind of stereotype of Jamaican men are unfaithful. So like that was a thing that was always lingering in the back of my head, like, oh, you're just that person on the end of the telephone. That might have. Yeah, so even though he didn't portray those things, and even though he was real and he was faithful in the sense that deep down I could trust him, but because of the stereotype, I was like, can't, like, I'm not going to be that girl that was like, no, my man is what, because of the stereotype. And I think that is a stereotype even Jamaicans coming to this country. Not yet. Even as the Jamaicans coming to this country, of them like having a lot of women, having a lot of children, they don't keep one woman and all of this kind of thing. No, yeah, no. And all of that. So yeah, that was a stereotype. I can't think of any more at the top of my head. Eliana, please. I think Eliana wants to be in the video, but you'll see her at the end. So you have to stick around to the end. Children, it makes it impossible to do anything, but we move.
All right, guys. The next point we're gonna talk about is difference in food.
No, my favorite point.
Yep. This is your favorite point.
I knew you were gonna say that because you like to disgrace me on the
No, it's not disgrace. You like your food.
We like
our food. But yeah, difference in food. When I came here, when I was coming here, I didn't have much expectation about food. I think one thing I know about people in England, I heard that they eat a lot of sandwich and they drink a lot of tea and sandwich is correct, Meg.
Sorry.
And also that they smoke and those things. So I didn't have much expectation about food.
And to be honest, this is not your typical blend like of us. Talking about the difference in food, because I grew up in a very Jamaican home, so the foods that you would eat I would be eating as well.
But your mom do make a lot of variation.
Yeah, so
your mom do a lot of variation because your mom is a chef, so she do a lot of variation.
Yeah, that's true.
Lot of roast, those things that are proper.
Yeah, we have a mixture, but on the growing up, the most part was Jamaican food. But yeah, we do have a lot of things where it's very British as well, I guess.
And for you like to try a lot of different cuisines. Well, both of us like that now.
I do.
And well, typically most Jamaican men would normally want their yam, dumpling, banana. I've never been so driven by those things.
No,
I think
that's good. I've been blessed in that aspect, because anywhere that I would be like, oh babe, let's try this, you would always be down for it, which is amazing. But
that's a typical problem in most relationships with persons we've spoken to. So that's not something that affects us really in terms of food,
food.
And we wanting my yard food, we cook my oxtail. Girl, you should be cooking your oxtail and your curry goat and all these things.
We do all those things too, but I mean,
my mom does those things perfectly, beautiful.
So what you said about me?
But we don't really cook those things.
So you say my mom does it, so what about me?
Yeah, you cook like a...
You hear that? Shout out to Aunty Kitchen.
Yes.
All right, fine. Let's move on. The next thing I would say is discipline. Oh my days!
We have two different approach to discipline. I'm more like a real disciplinarian. I love when children conform. Yes.
Yeah, well, it's not too different, because I believe in discipline. I believe that children must listen. I believe in that kind of thing. However, I would say in terms of the British Jamaican thing, I would say that a more Jamaican approach is you shout, they must hear. You beat, they must feel, and they must hear. Whereas for me,
I hear must
feel, but whatever. But for me, I believe that you should be able to talk first, and then that is the action. Meaning, if you don't listen, this is what's going to happen. This is the consequence. That's my kind of approach.
Yeah, I can be very stern and just want to talk maybe one or two times and you listen. But you'll be more soft.
Patience. Yeah. That's the patience thing that he doesn't have.
I do have it. I have it a lot.
But I believe that if you talk to the child, you have to let them understand. Because for me, if you tell them to do something, or they're doing, not even you tell them to do something, they're doing something that they start crying or whatever, then you just go ahead and beat them. Why did you beat them? What, like?
No, why? Why would you do that? Why? Why would you
stop it? Like, why? What? They won't understand for the next time. They.
Okay, baby.
They won't understand why they just got that slap. Whereas if you were to explain to them, like, no, you're not allowed to do that, or you're not supposed to do that, and then if they repeat and they do it again,
in Jamaica, you beat them whilst you discipline them. Me say don't do that again.
Yeah,
Pause.
well, I think we moved on from that guy. So
Yeah,
I think...
I don't believe in that kind of punishment. I don't believe. I'm more like a stern speaker. I don't use physical force.
Let's move on. We're on
guys.
YouTube, so I can't expose you.
No.
I'm joking. He's not that bad. But I'm just saying that I'm more of a patient person. So I would like to talk and explain. And
I believe in talking.
that kind of thing. And then if you disobey me now, then I told you already, so you're going to get it. So that kind of thing. But yeah, discipline in that way. Welcome, Eliana.
Welcome, Ellie.
She's been trying to pop up. Look at this.
Say hi.
I wasn't sleeping.
You want to sleep?
Yeah.
She's been trying to pop up. So anytime we're trying to do a video, Eliana wants her shine. Right?
Yeah.
Anyway, let us finish.
Alright, so we're going to talk about the final point, Eliana.
The final point.
And then you can just say hi to your friends out there, okay? Alright, so the final point we're talking about is emotions. Growing up in Jamaica, you're going to be a very stern kind of. Don't communicate a lot. You
Not
don't.
Stern.
Yeah, as
Are
a
you
man.
talking about as a man?
As a man, yeah.
Okay. Not stern. I would say like just manly.
Manly. You don't talk a lot about how you feel. You're more like you keep things in and so forth. And that's something that you always said. Speak about how you're feeling. I don't know why I said that.
Yeah, you know what you do. Like, I would say the emotions thing is more like. I can't speak because I'm not a man, but as a man, like you would, if you cry, it's known as a feminine thing. You know, you have to take charge and just be that macho.
Tough all the time.
Yeah.
And don't really express how you really feel. And that's what gave birth to the Speak Black Man movement that I've been doing. If you guys have been following me on social media such as Instagram or Facebook,
Go on, Ellie,
you
this
see
is
that
your
I
turn.
started.
Go on.
Talk about the Speak Black Man with Daddy. Speak Black Man.
Speak Black Man.
So yeah, I started this movement called Speak Black Man, which is really to empower men to speak. And we know that a lot of men don't express themselves. Most time they're experiencing quite difficult situation, keep everything inside. And that's why we have so much men who are struggling with mental health problem but don't seek help. And that's because of the stereotype that is around black men expressing themselves. And we want to break those stigma where men feel more open to discuss difficulties and to talk about their challenges. So yeah, guys, we just wanted to share this week a bit about some of the differences that we've experienced since living together and migrating from Jamaica to the UK.
Yeah.
It's another week. Hope you guys did enjoy.
Yeah, we've probably forgotten a whole lot, but there's a lot of
differences,
things.
but we just share a few.
Yeah, we're just sharing a few, and this is our blend. We are, just doing what we do.
Doing what we do, so we stay alive. Eddie, all right, your time now. Are you ready to say anything? What are you gonna say?
Who you want to say hello to?
Say hello. So thank you guys for watching.
Say whatever you want to say. Don't act shy now when you've wanted to be in it.
Say what?
You ain't got nothing to say. You just want to be in it. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in this week, and thank you for. You want Dolly? Have Dolly and just be quiet. Thank you guys for tuning in this week. Yep, everyone can see Dolly. And this is us. We are the Dawsons, and we just want to thank you one more time for being with Travel. Before we go, we haven't said some exciting news.
Yep.
Fingers crossed, we should be travelling in the next few weeks.
Yeah.
If Boris allows it. But I won't talk about that. Yeah, so we thought that 2020 would be the year that we just wouldn't get on a plane. I love to travel. We love to travel. The whole purpose of this YouTube was to showcase all of our traveling and sharing with you where we go. But yeah, it looks like it might be possible. But in the next week or two, you'll soon see. So hopefully.
Fingers crossed.
You'll find out where we're going. You can put in the comment section, where do you think that we're going to be going to? That would be nice.
Yep.
Where do you think we're
Where
going?
do you think we're going, Eddie?
Where do you think we're going?
Where are we going?
It would be funny if she said it. Where do you think we're going?
This I get
In the garden.
All she knows about the traveling. So yeah, so stay tuned for what's to come and our traveling content. You don't want to miss the next few weeks.
And guys, remember to tell a friend, tell family and everybody about this platform. Thank you guys so much again for tuning in, and until next week, bye for us.
Bye. Time for dinner.
So bye, Ellie.